Good morning. Psalms Psalms 90:17. May the favor of the Lord our God rest on us. Establish the work of our hands for us. Yes, establish the work of our hands. Yes, Lord, help us in all things. And so this morning, my voice went haywire. So I'm going to do the best I can. I've got the microphones on, but I was thinking this morning about some of the things I did as a teenager at home. We got the Fredericksburg News. It was a little newspaper. I think it came out once a week. And it was so fascinating to me because when you read the news in it, it told you about Mr. and Miss John Smith or whoever visited with their daughter that day. They had a beautiful 4 days with their daughter in New Albany, things like that. Or they'd say, uh, Mr. and Miss George Brown, their daughter is getting married. It will be held at such and such church. All are invited. It was just fascinating. And some of those people you knew. So I would read it every week when I was about 14, 15 years old. And then it would say, so and so visited over at Hardensburg today, and they had tea. They had such a good visit. That was the news. Talk about calm. It was calm, wasn't it? They didn't put any bad news in in our weekly newspaper. So I was thinking about that this morning, and I was thinking how we looked forward to Tuesday nights when we was living out on the farm, because down at Fredericksburg, which was 3 miles away, Daddy had a truck. He would load us in the truck if the weather was good, and we'd go watch the movies. What they do is they had a lawn like plot downtown. Downtown, I mean, it didn't even have a red light. But anyway, we'd take our blanket or whatever because we didn't have folding chairs, and we would, me and Norman and Phyllis and maybe Tommy, would get on that blanket, and the other kids would get on their blankets. The grown ups had folding chairs, and they would show us movies, black and white movies, like is on some of them old time things that James loves to watch, like on Grit. If you know what Grit is, they just show one old black and white movie after another. So there was the Lone Ranger and some of those old movies, but I went to visit with my friends mainly. I never cared for those movies much, and I still don't. I still don't. My voice is crazy today. It's just not good. I had a bronchitis down in here, and I have an unproductive cough, but I'm not really sick. I mean, I ate breakfast and I'm cooking soup beans today in the Ninja Foodie under pressure. I'm doing Great Northern beans with ham, and you do your onions first and fry 'em. But you know what I did? So I just bring y'all up to date. I had been contemplating reading the story of Tom Sawyer. And do you think maybe that's too big a thing for me to try to do? I've been having my doubts. But don't we have doubts about everything? And you don't know if you don't try. So I'm going to try. But when I got the Tom Sawyer book from the library, it was just about this big, and you couldn't read the writing in it. And so I went on Amazon, and they had a large print one for $23. So I ordered it, and it says, let me show you the print. It's got pictures. See that? Well, can you see? I can read that. And it's got pictures in it, and it weighs a ton. I mean, it is heavy, but I figure I can do it. See that? Well, and somebody told me it has the N word in it, but you can substitute other things, and I can do that, you know. And they talk about slaves, and that wasn't the day of slaves. Now, the first thing that Mark Twain did was he did a preface of what this is about right here. And I'm going to read that just to give you all an idea. See, I've got that dry cough. So I won't be able to do Tom Sawyer. My voice clears up real good, but I'll read this to you. Most of the adventures recorded in this book really occurred one or two were experiences of his own. The rest of those boys who were schoolmates of mine, Huck Finn is drawn from life. Tom Sawyer also, but not from an individual. But he's a combination of the characters of three boys whom I knew and therefore belongs to the composite order of architecture for this book. The odd superstitions touched upon in this book are prevalent among children of slaves in the West at the period of this story. Those kind of things were going on. That is to say, 30 or 40 years ago from 1876. Now, that's been a long time. Although my book is intended mainly for the entertainment of boys and girls, I hope it will not be shunned by men and women on that account. For part of my plan has been to try to pleasantly remind adults of what they once were themselves and of how they felt, thought, and talked, and what queer enterprises they sometimes engaged in. And I've been reading some of it. And of course, it's Tom, and he lives with his aunt, and also uh, his like half brother by the name of Jeb, I think it is. I don't remember. I've been reading some of it, but anyhow, I'm going to try when my voice gets better. We'll see what happens, and I'll make it different. I'll do it on a on another time, and I'll just do my regular videos. And I just thought I'd break you into what is happening. You know, I try to keep you advised and what I'm doing. I'm very transparent. I got my coffee this morning, but I don't know when my voice is going to get back to normal. Let's hope it does, because if it don't, I won't be reading Tom Sawyer. Don't you like my background this morning? I looked for one that kind of looks springtime, and it is overcast here. The weather is not looking good. It's not going to rain. It's just gloomy looking. But I'm not gloomy. I feel good. I feel good. But I slept last night. I went to bed like at 6:30, and I slept till 5 o'clock this morning. And then we went over to my house, and I fixed a little breakfast and put the soup beans on. I baked a ham, and that's going to go real good with my soup beans. And I'll be making cornbread and probably a salad. I get one of them salads you get at Walmart or Aldi's, and it's got the dressing and everything in it, and I just stir that up, and they're always good. So I do that a lot of times. And we like lettuce salads. We Tomatoes are gone. My plants are finished. I've got to get somebody to pull them out. But our man, Keith, the one that's hard of hearing, and James he don't want to wear his hearing aids. Do you know he's 75 years old? And he has a home, and he's a collector, and I doubt if you can walk through it because he's a hoarder, really. We're not allowed in his house, but he's a good guy and keeps a good attitude toward life. But he called James. We hadn't heard from him. He always calls, to work, and James tried calling him, didn't get no answer. So come to find out, he's in the hospital, and he finally called the office or something, or Gary or somebody, and we found out he was in his yard, he said, and he just kind of turned around to pick something up, and he broke his hip in two places. So he's in the hospital with a new hip, and James went to see him, not this morning, but the day before, and he's been talking to him on the phone, and he's going into rehab. They put that artificial hip in right away. And so he's going to be in rehab. But James went out to see him. He said, I'm going to visit with him after we walk. So he went in the hospital, and I waited in the car because I hate walking in that hospital. You walk miles and don't get anywhere. And that's about the truth. I hate it. So I didn't go. I waited in the car. After a while, James came back, and he said, well, he said, I went up and down them hallways and up and down, and I found out when I come back around, I was right where I started. And he said, finally, he got some help and got to Keith's room. Keith had his own room. And he said he walked in to say hello to him, and Keith was sound asleep at 8 o'clock in the morning. He says, so I just turned around and came back, and I found my way out somehow or other. It's a confusing hospital. It's been added on and added on, and it's got so many corridors, and it's 2 or 3 stories high, and you can get lost in that place. But they really did a good thing at that hospital. Now you can still park out front when you got a handicap tag, which we do. I said, honey, park me in front. Don't, and they got a valet service, which they'll take your car and park it. And you can go in the hospital and do your running up and down them halls all you want to. And then when you come, they park it somewhere, and when you come back down, they go get it for you. And I find that marvelous. But I always park in front. I've been parking in front a long time. They got a pickup thing that if you're picking up people, so you can park in that for half an hour. And I'm not going to stay longer than a half an hour, even if I get lost. And that's the law. That's my law. I hate going to hospital. So anyway, he's going to be in rehab. I think they're taking him today. And so Lord bless him and help him. And I know y'all say a little prayer for Keith that he'll be all right. And I think he will. He's doing good. He sounds real happy. He had called his family. They all live about 100 miles away. He's got a son and a daughter and a brother and some sisters. And he called them, and some of them came to see him while he was in the hospital, while he was awake. And he told James about it. So so life goes on for us that are still here. That's what I always say. It goes on for us who are still here, and just enjoy life and make the best of it. And my little cousin Wendy texted me yesterday, and uh, it's so wonderful to have her acquaintance again. Because see, I met her many years ago down in Culpeper, Virginia, where Buddy was holding a revival. Her family, they're Baptists really, and they came to our revival, and I met her, and I just fell in love with her. She's such a sweet girl. And now we've reconnected. She's born September the 18th, and I'm born September the 19th. I mean, we're practical people. You know, people born in September are very practical. James Boss brings stuff home, and I say, what can we use that for? Because if we can't use it for something, either to look pretty on the wall, which is good, or to use in the kitchen, to use in the bedroom, or somewhere or other, otherwise, pass it on down the line. But he'll just stack it back and save it. We might need it sometime, you know. I don't think so. He's got spares upon spares of things. So I hope this is loud enough. My voice is real weak today, but I'm going to work on that Tom Sawyer. But I'll make it a different video. But you know what? I'm going to tell that story just like I feel it, like just like I'm talking to y'all. I'm going to, if I want to insert something right there, I'll just say, well, what do you think about that? Because I'm grandma, and grandmas do that kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm going to do it. So, Lord bless y'all. Have a marvelous day, and I'm going to let you go. I've been looking at my analytics on my YouTube, and most people only watch 12 minutes. So, honey, I'm shortening my stuff because if they ain't going to watch it, well, why talk and nobody's listening? I know 3 or 4 watch it all the way through because they tell me so. Well, they'll just have to look at some of this longer or something. I don't know. Unless I get carried away, of course. And you never know when that's going to happen. I don't even know. I don't even know. But it's good to be with you. So may the Lord bless and keep you till I see you again. Bye bye. Walk that path where the Lord would be pleased with you. Bye bye.